Bro, I swear that night wasn't normal at all. Like something was off from the start. You know that weird feeling when everything looks okay, but deep down you feel like no. Something's watching. It was raining heavy. Like crazy heavy. Not that soft chill rain. Nah, this was the type that hits the ground like bullets. Windows shaking. Street lights flickering like they about to die any second. Was alone at home. Parents out of town. Friends busy. Just me and that silence. And rain noise hitting everywhere. I was scrolling my phone, bored as hell, when suddenly the lights blinked once, twice. Then came back. He paused. Yo, what was that? I whispered to myself. He laughed it off at first. Like your normal power fluctuation. Happens all the time, but then my phone buzzer don't now number. Stared at it for a second, then picked it up. Hello. No answer, just breathing's low, heavy, like someone standing right next to the mic. Yo, who's this? Still nothing. Then the cool cutie felt that weird chill run down my back, like someone just walked past me. But I was alone. I checked the doors, locked windows, closed everything. Normally told myself, chill bro, stop overthinking. He went back to my room, turned on some random video, just to kill the silence. But that feeling, it didn't go away. It was like someone was still there watching, waiting. Suddenly that something hit the floor in the hallway. Ludi frozen. Me heart started beating like crazy. No, not maybe something fell. I tried to calm myself, but deep down I knew nothing was supposed to fall. Slowly stood up. Every step felt heavy, like my legs didn't want to move. I walked towards the hallway. Darkenly light was coming from my room behind me, and that's when I saw If dollying in the middle of the floor, face down. I swear that doll wasn't there before. I don't even remember owning a doll. That what the hell? I stepped closer. Rain still smashing outside, light flickering again. He bent down, slowly turned the doll over, and bro, its eyes were open wide, like staring straight into my soul. He dropped it instantly. Nah, this ain't funny. I backed away bit. Then he heard something behind me whisper, you found me. I turned around instant lengthening to hallway bit. That voice, it was Raleigh. No, what I heard. He grabbed my phone, flashlight on, hands shaking. He looked back at the doll. It was gone, just gone. Yo, what? My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe properly. Then my phone buzzed again. Same unknown number. He didn't want to pick it, but something inside me said do it, so I answered slowly. Hello. This time a kid's voice, soft but creepy as hell. Why did you touch me? My throat went dry, couldn't even speak. Then the voice started laughing, that normal laughing, that broken, glitchy type, like something pretending to be human. Then it whispered, I'm not alone. Call ended, and right after that every light in the house went off. Complete darkness, no sound, no rain, a thing, just silence. And then footsteps inside my house. Bro, I'm telling you, that silence right after the lights went out. Yeah, that wasn't normal silence. That was the kind that presses against your ears, like something's trying to stop you from hearing what's coming next. He couldn't see anything, like literally pitch black. Even my phone screen just died out of nowhere. No battery warning, nothing. It just went dead in my hand. No. This is messed up, I muttered, trying to stay calm. But my voice was already shaking. Then those footsteps again, slow drogging call. Someone wasn't even trying to hide it. Step, drag, step, drag, coming from the hallway, coming closer. He froze right there. My brain was screaming run, but my body just locked, like I wasn't in control anymore. I tried to move my hand, nothing. Tried to speak, my throat felt sealed, and then, right next to my ear, I felt it, breath cold, wet, not human. You shouldn't have picked me up. That same kid voice, but this time it sounded broken, like two voices talking at answer me. Whole body snapped back to life, and I jumped forward, crashing into the wall. Who's there? I shouted, my voice echoing through the house. See now, and surges the rain again, suddenly back, louder than before, like it never stopped. Me phone flickered back on, flashlight turned on by itself. I swear I didn't touch it. Beam pointed straight down the hallway, empty at the floor, wet like muddy footprints leading from the front door all the way to my room. Yo, I locked that door. I slowly followed the footprints. Each one looked small, like a kid's, but something about them felt wrong. They weren't straight, they twisted, like the feet were turned backwards. He stopped. No bro, this ain't real. I turned around, ready to just lock myself in my room and wait till morning, but my room door was closed. He left it open. No, I did, my chest tightened again, heartbeat going crazy. Okay, just open it. I whispered to myself. He grabbed the handle cold like ice, pushed the door open slowly, creak, sound dragged like it didn't want me to enter, and inside everything looked normal, bed charitable. The window was open, curtains moving with the wind rain blowing inside. What the hell? I walked in carefully and noticed something on my bed that sitting upright facing the door. Tingy froze again. Oh, I'm done. I grabbed the nearest thing. A cricket bat leaning near the wall. You think this funny, huh? I said, forcing some fake Corrigino movement. That doll staring at size didn't blink. He stepped closer, only step at a time, heart pounding so loud it felt like it was echoing in the room. But scared of you. I Lady raised the bat and swung hard. Cracked doll flew across the room, hitting the wall and dropped silent for a second. Nothing happened. Eddie let out a breath. See, just a stupid doll. But then a sound soft coming from behind me that hurt. My body went cold instantly. I turned slowly and there it was standing right behind me. It on the bed, not on the floor, standing that doll, but now taller, its head tilted, unnatural, its mouth slightly open, and inside darkness, no tongue, no teeth, just black. You broke me, it said again. This time its voice wasn't just in my ears, it was in my head, echoing. Or gludry dropped the bat, me hands completely numb. This isn't real, I whispered. Doll took a step forward, its legs cracking like dry wood. You let me in. Another step, now you can't leave. I backed up until I hit the wall. No way out. Window behind me, storm raging outside, and that thing coming closer. And suddenly me phone screamed like an alarm, glitching out. He looked down, screen flashing random symbols, and then one message, a paradunk now. Look behind you. My heart dropped. He didn't want at all, and he swear I did it, but something forced me slowly. I turned my head toward the window, warned in the reflection. I saw it not one but three figures standing behind, metal, shadowy, and the doll was just one of them. Bro, I didn't even realize when my breathing got out of control. Like short, fast, panicked, chest tight as hell. Because what I saw in that reflection, yeah, that wasn't just fear. That was straight up nightmare fuel. Three of them standing right behind me. When I turned around, nothing, empty room, and just that broken doll lying on the floor. Where I hit, it blinked hard. No, I saw that. I know I did. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone. I slowly looked back at the window again, and there it was again. All three closer this time, their shapes clearing out, all thin, like stretched shadows, heads slightly bent, and the doll, yeah, it was right in front of them now, like it belonged to them. His stomach dropped. Yo, what do you want from me? I whispered, almost begging at this point. No answer, but then tip-tap homing from the window. He froze. Something was tapping from outside the third floor. There's no balcony, no ledge, no thing. Nah, that's impossible. Tap louder. Now he slowly stepped closer to the window, every instinct screaming don't do it, but my body, yeah, not listening anymore. Wiped the fog off the glass and looked out. Rain hitting hard, street completely empty, no one outside, and thing there. Let out a breath. See, just in your head. Then tip right in front of my face from the other side of the glass. He jumped back so hard I slipped and hit the floor. What the? I looked up, and this time I saw it clearly, a hand pressed against the window, but not normal. Two long fingers bent wrong like joints, twisted the opposite way, and the skin dark, wet, almost melting. She couldn't even scream. He voice just deed. Then another hand appeared, then a face slowly pushing against the glass like it was trying to come through. Its eyes completely black, no white, no pupil, rust darkness, and its mouth moving, whispering something, but I couldn't hear it through the glass. He shook my head. No'd stay back. Then sudden like crack, a thin line appeared across the window. A knot crack, another one spreading fast like the glass was about to explode. Scrambled back, crawling on the floor, heart racing out of control, and then boom, window shattered, glass everywhere, wind and rain blasting into the room, and that thing, it didn't fall in, it just disappeared. Original, it was never there. I sat there for a second, completely frozen, rain soaking half the room. I'm losing it. I'm actually losing it. But then I noticed something on the floor near the broken glass. Muddy footprints again, fresh, leading inside. No way. I slowly stood up, following them with my eyes. They didn't stop. This Timothy went out of my room into the hall. I didn't want to follow, but at this point, what choice did I even have? I grabbed the bat again, hands still shaking, and stepped into the hallway. Dark again, light still, deadenly, lightning flashes giving quick glimpses, and every time lightning hit he saw something different. First flash, empty hallway. Second Flash something standing at the end. Third flash gone. You'll stop playing with me, I shouted, but my voice sounded weak. Scarred. Then came that laugh again, thick broken, glitchy laugh echoing through the house. You're already inside, the voice whispered. Inside what? I yelled back. Now and surges silenced and sudden livery door in the hallway started moving slow, creaking open. Own by Oni Kriya stepped back. Nah, this ain't happening. Then all at once every door shut out, the whole house shooken. Right after that complete silence again, but this time it felt heavier, like something had changed, like I crossed a line. Without realizing it, me phone buzzed again. Looked down slowly, screen cracked now. Glitching Anith, a message noun. Come downstairs. I stared at it. Why? No reply. Then another message popped up instantly. Oh, we come to you. My throat went dry. Looked toward the stairs, darkly black, like it wasn't even part of the house anymore. Just avoid him from that darknessy. Heard it multiple footsteps. This Tim not one not womany coming up slowly, steps to fifth rhythms, different weights like different. Dingsy backed away fast. No, I'm not waiting for that. I turned and ran straight into my room, slammed the door shut, locked it, pushed the bed against it, breathing heavy. Think. But then I realized something that made my blood run cold. Instant live window was broken wide open and the curtains, they weren't moving anymore. Reno, wind, no rain coming, anything, just still, completely still, like the outside world just disappeared. And then, slowly, from under my bed, a hand crawled out. Bro, I swear my brain just stopped working at that moment, like full shutdown. Because that hand, yeah, it didn't just come out slowly like some movie scene. Nah, it dragged itself out like it owned the place, fingers scraping against the floor, tick, like nails hitting Tennessee. Couldn't move, couldn't even blink properly, just staring at it. This ain't real, I whispered. But even I didn't believe it any more than the second hand came out, gripping the floor harder, pulling something up, whatever it was. It was heavy, slow, deliberate. It was enjoying this. Me heart was pounding so loud it felt like my ears were gonna burst. Get out, I suddenly shouted, grabbing the bat and swinging it toward the bed, but I hit nothing. Just Earth hands instantly disappeared back under the bed. Silence stood there shaking. Yeah, that's right, stay there. I tried to act tough, but my voice cracked halfway. A sound right behind me, soft, almost playful. You missed. I turned instantly, thinking room again. Nah, this is messed up. I backed away slowly, I scanning every corner. I heard it again, this time from above me up here. I looked up and my whole body just froze ever. It wasn't the ceiling crumbling, it's damp foot. Same twisted thing, its limbs bent the wrong way, head tilted completely sideways, is locked on me black. Empty. Endless your fun. It whispered. Then it smiled, and bro, that smile, yeah, it stretched way too wide, like its face was tearing apart. Just to do it, he swung the bat again hard, but it moved instantly too fast, like a glitch. And second there, next second Gornay spun around. Where are you? No answer. Then suddenly Bangzamank slammed against the door hard. The bed shifted slightly. Anitha Bangthan Another, like something outside was trying to break in. Open it, a voice said from the other side. And one voice, Manalay Airpoliv, open it. Open it. I covered my ears, shut up. But they didn't stop. Door started shaking violently, now wood cracking slightly. Nah, this won't hold, I muttered. My eyes darted around the room looking for anything, any way out, and I remember at the window it turned, but the moment I looked at it, my stomach dropped again. It wasn't broken anymore. Renault glass on the floor, no rain, no wind, just normal, like nothing ever happened. What? No, I saw it break. I stepped closer, slowly reached out, ouched the glass lid, cold duckyo. What kind of bank's door behind me slammed once more louder than before, a crack forming across it. Now, leave, that kid voice whispered again. Right next to my ear, he spun around, and there it was, standing between me and the door of doll again. But now, it wasn't small anymore, it was almost my height, its head twitching slightly like it couldn't stay still. You broke me, it said. So now we fix you. My chest tightened. Stay back, I said, stepping away, but it stepped forward too, matching me. You belong here now. Then suddenly its body jerked violent, like something inside it was trying to get out. Its arms stretched longer, unnatural length, fingers scraping the walls. We've been waiting. Another voice joined in, deeper, darker, calm from inside it. For someone like you. I shook my head. No, I didn't do anything. I didn't ask for this. The doll tilted its head then laughed that same broken laugh. You answered the call. My mind flashed back to that phone calling no number breathing. So that means, I whispered yes. It interrupted. You opened the door. Banked room lights flickered back on suddenly blinding for a second, and when my eyes adjusted, everything changed. My room wasn't my room anymore. Walls, cracker paint peeling, dark stains everywhere. There felt heavy, rotten on the door. Gone just a dark hallway stretching endlessly, and behind the doll, those tall shadow figures again clearer, now closer. Watching in Twink stumbled back. What is this place? The doll stepped aside slowly as if inviting me home. It said, and one of the shadow figures moved forward taller than the rest, its shape flickering like it couldn't fully exist. Come. It whispered. Me legs felt weak like they were being pulled not by force but by something inside mesometing telling me to go. No, I'm not going anywhere, I said, trying to resist, but then me phone buzzed one last time. I looked down, screen almost completely broken. No, but one message still visible. Down. You can't wake up anymore. My breath stopped. Wake up, I whispered, and that's when it hit me hard, like everything just clicked at once. This isn't real. The doll smiled wider. It is now. And suddenly everything went dark again, but this time I wasn't standing anymore. I was falling faster, a complete darkness, and all I could hear was that laughter getting louder, closer inside my head, until finally I hit something hard and everything went silent. Bro, when I hit the ground, it didn't feel like floor. Not normal floor, at least. It was cold, damp, almost like mud mixed with something thicker, like it was alive. I didn't move for a second, just laying there trying to catch my breath, but the air, yeah, it felt wrong to have every breath, like I was inhaling dust and something rotten at the same time. Where am I? I whispered. Me voice echoed, but not like a normal echo. It came back distorted, slaric. Something repeated it after me. Where am I? I sat up quickly. Yo, stop that. Silence, then a faint sound dripping Zormho close, around darkness at first, but slowly shapes started forming. Wall solid, broken, wet, covered in black stains and symbols scratched everywhere. This ain't my house, I said under my breath. He got up slowly, legs weak, balance off like gravity itself wasn't stable. Haretha. I looked down at my hands, dark, almost black. What is this? I wiped it on my shirt, but it didn't come off properly, just smeared like ink that doesn't want to leave it. Then I heard it whisper again, but softer this time, far away this way. I turned at a narrow corridor stretching ahead, barely visible, but something about it felt like it was pulling men. It physical a bit, mainly like my thoughts were being dragged. Nah, I'm not following anything, I said, but my feet moved anyways, step by step, like autopilot. Deeper I went, colder. It got dripping sound louder now and then. I saw doors lined up on both sides, old wooden doors, each one different, each one slightly open, just enough to see darkness inside. A stop. Nope, not opening any of those. Then suddenly Slimone door shut by itself. He flinched hard, then Anno Thursland until only one door remained open at the end of the corridor, wide open, waiting. Of course, I muttered, always one door. I walked toward it slowly, heart beating steady but heavy now, like I was past panic, past fear, just numby. Reached the door, looked inside deep first. Nothing, just darkness again, but then something mothered in Sadia figure was sitting back, turned to Mesmer like a kid. Yo. Hello, I said carefully. No response. I stepped inside, floor creaked under my feet, door behind me slowly started closing. No, don't do that. Slam. Complete darkness again, seriously. Thin light dim, flickering coming from somewhere above. At back the door was gone, just wall, no way out. Perfect. Just perfect. I turned toward the figure again. Oh, clear, a kid sitting on the floor playing with something small piece, moving them slowly. Hey, I said, you called me here. No answer. He stepped closer. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I need to get out. You're late, the kid said without turning. Me chest tightened. Late for what? He slowly stopped moving his hands, then turned his head slightly, not fully, just enough so I could see one eye, black, completely black. We've been waiting. My stomach dropped again. I asked it, and Thini heard it behind me. Breathing Mutiusel didn't Tawny already knew they were there. Those shadow figures close, and Wariola, don't look, the kid said softly. They don't like that. Then what do you want from me? I snapped. He finally turned fully, and bro, his face, it wasn't normal. Half of it looked human, scared. Police other half cracked like broken porcelain, and inside the cracks, darkness moving. You let them in, he said. Now you take my place. My heart skipped your place. He nodded slowly. I've been here too long. I backed away. No, I'm not staying here. I didn't agree to anything. The kid smiled, but only on the broken side of his face. Normal side stayed still, and already did. Then sudden light pieces he was playing with started moving on their own, sliding across the floor, forming something a shape. I looked down and my blood ran cold. It was my house, your small model, exact layout, rooms, hallway, everything. What is this? Your world, he said. Then one of the pieces mothered be itself toward my room and a tiny figure appeared. There I stepped back instantly. Nah, no way. Then another figure appeared behind it. Dolly felt my chest tighten again. This is happening right now. The kid said, both sides. What do you mean both sides? He looked straight into my eyes. You fell, but you didn't leave. I couldn't process it, so I'm still there. He nodded slowly, and here. My breathing got heavier again. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to, he replied. Then suddenly a tiny version of me in the model started moving on its own, walking toward the door. Stop, I said instinctively. It didn't stop. The kid tilted his head. You see now? See what? You're not in control anymore. I'm right. At that moment he felt it. Something grabbed my arm from being tight. Coldy, he looked down slowly. A long shadow hand wrapped around me. Now, let go. But before I could react, I was pulled back, hard dragged into complete darkness again. The kid's voice echoing behind me, run if you want. They like that. And then I heard it again, that laugh closer than ever right inside my head. Game starts now. Bro, I didn't even get a second to think. Like the moment that shadow hand grabbed me, everything just flipped. Literally felt like I got pulled through space or something. On second, I'm there with that kid. Next second he hit the ground again hard, but this time it wasn't that cold muddy place. It was my house here, at least. It looked like it. Same hallway, same wall, same layout, but something was off, way off. The lights were on now, but dim, flickering like they were struggling to stay alive. And the air, yeah, heavier than before, like every breath had weighty. Pushed myself up slowly. Okay, I'm back. I think that even as I said it, I didn't believe it, because the silence, it wasn't normal. No rain, no outside sound, nothing, just this low humming noise, like something vibrating inside the wall. See, look around, everything looked slightly wrong, like a copy of my house, but not perfect. Was slightly stretched corners to dark doors, slightly taller than they should be. Nah, this ain't my house. Then I heard it, footsteps fast. This Timmonings the upstairs. He froze. Nah, I'm not going up there. Then suddenly bang, zooming, slammed upstairs, then running again for stir closer to the stairs. Now you'll know. I turned to run toward the front door bit. The moment I reached it, stop it. Door wasn't there, just a wall solid, no handle from anything. You gotta be kidding me. Then behind Meslow Clappingy turned around slowly, and there it was, standing at the bottom of the stairs. Doll, but now it looked different again. To learn more, stretched its arms, almost touching the floor, head twitching side to side like it couldn't stay still. He came back. It said, voice deep and owlless, like a kid, more like something wearing a kid's voice. I didn't come back. I got dragged here. I snapped at it, tilted its head, then laughed. Same thing. I clenched the bat tighter. Just tell me how to get out. It took one slow step forward, floor creaking under it. You don't get out. Another step, you survive. My grip tightened. Survive what? And then it smiled with it too wide. Then right on the humming sound in the house to poppered complete that silence. Yeah, it got worse, like everything was holding its breath, then scratched from the walls low. First like something dragging its nails, then fast allowed Daryl around mules. Ceiling. Floor. No. I backed up, heart racing again. What is that? The doll didn't answer it, just stepped back like it was giving space, like it knew what was coming. They're here. And then cracked wall to my right split slightly, a thin linear from inside. Darkness moving like liquid, then a hand pushed through some twisted fingers, some broken shape pulling itself out. Another crack appeared, then another roll around me, and from each one something started crawling out. Shadows, but not flat shadow snow. These had form, height, movement, thin to run. The doll suddenly shouted, and bro, I didn't even question it. Ran straight toward the hallway behind me. I could hear them dropping to the floor, multiple faster movements, not human at alike. Glitched like they were skipping steps. Nah. I turned the corner, almost slipping into the kitchen, looked back and saw them for the first time, clearly. Talfin blims to long faces. Blank, no eyes, no mouth. just smooth darkness, where features should bub you somehow. I knew they were looking at me. One of them twitched suddenly and in a blink it was closer, way closer. Yo, what? I grabbed a chair and threw it at them. It passed right through one but hit another, which didn't even react, just kept moving. That's not working. I turned and ran again, me brain racing now. Think. Then I remembered what the kids said, run if you want. They like that. I slowed down slightly. Wait, what if? But before I could finish that thought, something grabbed my leg. I hit the floor hard. I looked back, and of those things scrawling, no holding my ankle grip cold. Strong let go. I kicked it hard again. Finally, it let go, but it didn't fall back. It just stood up slowly, head tilting, watching me, learning me. Now this is bad. This is really bad. I got up and ran again, heart pounding like croissant. Then suddenly everything went quiet again. No footsteps, no scratching, nothing. Slowed down, breathing heavy. Did they stop? I turned around slowly, empty hallway, no one there. Okay, maybe I lost them. Then right behind me, whisper, Clercalos, found you. My whole body froze. Didn't even turn this time. I just knew they were right there, all of them surrounding me, waiting, and that same voice again, layered, broken, inhuman. Don't run now. We're just getting started. Bro, I didn't even dare to move after that whisper. Like my body just locked up completely. Not fear at that point. More like something was controlling the space around me. Don't run now. That voice kept repeating in my head even after it stopped speaking, like it had already settled inside my thoughts. Slowly took a step back, no sound, and at a step still. Nothing. Then suddenly me phone in my pocket vibrated, dancing. Again he hesitated. No, I'm not checking that. But it kept vibrating non-stop. So something was forcing me to look. He pulled it out slowly. Screen cracked more than before, barely visible, but one message popped up, unknown. Turn around slowly. I swallowed hard. Yeah, not doing that. Then the vibration stopped. Complete silence again, to clean, to perfect, like the world was holding still just for me. And thinner cold breath touched the back of my necky, frizzy every muscle locked again. Oh, no. Very slowly turned my head slightly, just a bit, and what I saw made my stomach drop. Instant lion of Themrai hit behind me close enough that its face should have been touching mine, but it wasn't a face. It was just a smooth void, no featureless, no expression, just darkness shaped like a head, and it tilted slow like it was studying me. I stepped back instantly. Get away from me. But it didn't move. It just stayed there watching. Thinthenon. One appeared to my left, then right, then behind it more, forming a circle, closing in slowly. Okay, this is not happening. I whispered, me breathing got faster again. The bat was still in my hand, but it felt useless now, like holding a stick against something that doesn't even exist properly. One of them raised its hand and pointed at my chest. No words, just that gesturing. Suddenly me chest started feeling tight, like something inside me was being pulled. Joe, what are you doing? Stop. I dropped to one knee, pain spreading through my body like pressure from incident outside. Stop. Then I heard it against Doll's voice, but different now, coming from all directions. You're connected now. You can't leave your body behind. My vision started blurring through, shifting again, walls bending slight, like reality itself was unstable. Nah, I'm not staying here. I forced myself up, pushed through the pain, and ran straight toward the hallway bit. The moment I ran, they didn't chase it, they just watched it, which made it worse because now I knew they didn't need to chase me. They already had me where they wanted. He reached the hallway. Everything looked longer now, stretched like the house itself was growing doors, repeating in patterns. This place is fake. This place is fake. I kept repeating to myself. Then I saw it at the end of the hallway, a door different from the rest, old wooden frames, lightly open, and light coming from inside, warm, not dark, not creepy, just normal. For the first time I felt something like hope. Okay, that's my way out. I started walking fast toward it, but behind Meth whisper came again, this time calm to calm. Really think that's outside? I stopped just for a second, then kept walking. I don't care. I'm leaving. Step by step, close earth, like getting brighter, warmer, to safe feeling. Then something strange happened. Shadows on the walls started reacting like they were trying to pull me back, stretching toward Maybew. I ignored it, reached the door, hand on handle. Please let this be real. I opened it slowly, creaked and stepped inside. Everything went white, completely white. No sound, no feeling, no weight, just silence. Then a voice, not creepy this time, just familiar. Wake up. My eyes shot open, was back in my room laying on my bed, sunlight outside, normal world, birds, cars, everything. I sat up instantly, breathing heavy, looking around. Yo, it was a dream. I checked my hands, normal, no marks, no mud, nothing. G laughed nervously. Bro, what the hell was that? I got off the bed, walked to the mirror, looked at myself. Now I'm done watching horror stuff at night. Then my phone buzzed on the tablet. Picked it up casually, screen normal now, no cracks, no glitches, just one notificationing number. Me hand froze mid-air. Slowly opened it, message was short, just 4 words, we let you go. And under ITA, second message appeared, instantly, for now. Bro, I just stood there staring at that message like my brain refused to process it. We let you go. For now. Yeah, no, that for now part hit different. Like a threat dressed as a sentence. Say, slowly put the phone down, Lord. A little of us laugh. Okay, chill. It was just a dream. Stress dream or something. I went to wash my face, cold water on my skin trying to reset my mind, but the feeling didn't go away. No, that feeling when something is still behind you even after you turn around. Yeah. Fatty looked at the mirror, aga normal face, tired eyes of everything fine, see. Nothing happened. But then me reflection blinked, didn't he? Froze instantly. No. I blinked again. Amalius, me bro, stop messing with your head. I whispered. He turned away, fast walks out of the bathroom, sat on my bed, grabbed my phone. Again scrolling random stuff just to distract myself, but my thumb stopped mid-scroll. Something felt off, like the room wasn't aligned proper. Lithe. Bed slightly shifted. Door slightly open even though I closed it in the air. Same heavy feeling again. No. Don't start this again. I muttered, then my phone brightness dimmed by itself. Looked down, oh new notification, but the screen started glitching slight like weak signal, and then a photo appeared on its own. Didn't open it, it just appeared. Me chest tightened instant. It was a picture of me sleeping some room, same angle but darker, like it was taken at night. Yo, what the high zoomed in slightly, hands shaking again. In the corner of the image, something was standing blur granked. Will call, drop the phone on the bed instantly. No, this is not funny anymore. I backed away slowly, looking around the room of everything still normal, but now I couldn't trust normal anymore because last time it was normal. Yeah, I woke up inside something worse than suddenly knock on my door soft 3 times. He froze. Hello. No answer, another knock louder. This time I walked slowly toward the door, heart already racing again. Who is it? I scared silenceth, and a familiar voice very faint, don't open. I stopped that voice. It sounded like maybe you, not me, like an echo of my own voice coming from outside it, and another voice joined it per broken, open it. My breathing got heavier. No, I'm not doing this again. But my hands slowly moved toward the handle anyway. Stop, I whispered to myself, but it didn't stop until turning be itself, door slowly cracking open, creak, and what I saw made my entire body go cold. It wasn't outside yet, wasn't inside it, was something in between. A hallway, but not my house, not the place from before, something new and less, and standing right in the middle was the kid. Again, same broken face, same dark eye, but now he looked tired, like he'd been waiting too long. Looked at me directly and said, only one thing, you weren't supposed to wake up twice. My throat went dry instantly. Twice. He nodded slowly. First time you escaped. Second time, you opened the loop again. Behind him shadows started forming again, but this time faster, like they were angry, like they were rushing. What loop? I asked, voice cracking. A pointed at me. You didn't leave. You just switched layers. My head started hurting, everything feeling unreal again. No, this is not real, I said, stepping back. The kid's side, almost sad. That's what they want you to think. Then he looked past mine to my room, and his expression changed instantly. The first time they followed you back. My heart dropped. He turned slowly, and behind my inside my room, shadows were already there, standing waiting. This Timothy weren't hiding anymore. They were fully visible, and one of them was sitting on my bed like it belonged. The right tilted its head toward me and whispered, you brought us home. Bro, I swear the moment that shadow said, you brought us home, something inside my head just snapped. Like reality or panic, don't know, exarth overload. Hogae stepped back instinctively. No. You're not in my room. I kept repeating like it would change anything, but they didn't move. They just watched, standing, sitting, leaning in corners like they already owned the place. One sitting on my bed slowly turned its head toward me, and that movement Yeah, it wasn't normal, no joints, sound, no friction, just smooth. Wrong rotation, this is my space, I said, trying to sound strong, but my voice betrayed me halfway. Kid appeared again behind them like he walked through the shadows themselves. Tom, it's not yours anymore, he said softly. My chest tightened again. What do you mean it's not mine? I woke up here. He shook his head slightly. You didn't wake up. You were placed. I laughed on son of ours, disbelief. Placed. Like a thing. Bro, what are you even saying? Then the lights flickered on wind. When they stabilized, the room had changed again, subtle at first but enough for my brain to notice. Posters on the wall were gone. Window was gone even. The door frame looked deep along a hallway outside now, like the room had stretched. Okay, this is not real. This is not real, I kept saying, but my voice was shaking hard now. One of the shadows stepped forward slowly. Benetar, another thun anatherfaming a semicircle around me, closing space, stopped moving. I warned them, no response. They were learning me again, just like before. Then sudden live one on my bed spoke again. You ran last time. I swallowed hard, yeah, and I'm running again. And I turned sprinting toward the hallway, but the moment I crossed the doorway, a varying shifted floor disappeared under me, no impact, this time just falling. Again that same sensation, like being dropped through layers of reality. Wind rushing past, but no wind noise, just silent stretching. Third landed, but not in my room, not in the hallway, was back in that placid stretched corridor. Dim lights flickering above walls, breathing slight like they were alive again. No, I'm stuck, I whispered. Then I heard footsteps, but this time not chasing, walking beside me. I turned slowly and saw Itani, the version of me standing there looking at me, expression blank. Yo, what? I stepped back. It tilted its head like it was studying method. It spoke, but its voice wasn't mine. It was distorted. Laird, you always run the same way. My throat went dry. What are you? It pointed forward. You're the mistake that keeps looping. Behind it, hallway started filling again. Shadows returning faster now, like they were correcting something. No. This is getting worse, I muttered. Me duplicate stepped closer. You think you wake up, but you reset. My head started spinning again. Reset. It nodded slowly. Every time you escape, you return here slightly different. I backed away. No, that's not possible. Then it smiled, and that smile, yeah, it was wrong to widdy to aware you've done this before. My stomach dropped. What? It leaned in slightly many times. Sudden images flashed in my head. Same hallway, same Ido Sam kid, but different versions of me. Different Udkames running Grand Cree knees. Almost gave out. Stop. Stop. I shouted, holding my head. Shadows around us paused like they were listening. Then the kid appeared again, but this time he looked angry for the first time, breaking the pattern. He said sharply. Me duplicate looked at him. It was never stable. Then everything started shaking. Walls vibrating, lights flickering violet like reality itself was glitching. What's happening? I shouted. Kid looked at me directly and said one line. They noticed you remembering. My breathing stopped. Remembering what? Then all shadows turned toward me at once, seemed in perfect unison. They said everything. Bro, the moment they said everything, it felt like my brain just overloaded, like too many files opening at once, and nothing loading properly. Me vision started flickering again at darkness. Not white, just glitch like my eyes couldn't decide what reality was supposed to look like. No, stop doing this to me, I said, backing away from all of them, but the shadows didn't move. They just stood there watching me break down. Slow lithe kid stepped forward again, but his voice was calm and almost sad. You're remembering too fast. I grabbed my head. Remembering what? I don't remember anything. Then suddenly flash, me mind hit somethinga. Seen same hallway but different me standing still not running, just staring at the shadows like he already knew them. Than another flash, me screaming but no sound coming out. Annie the flash doll sitting on my chest while I slept. No, stop, I shouted, falling to my knees. Me duplicate stepped closer. See, it said quietly, you already saw it. I shook my head violently. That's not real. That's not me. But the more I denied it, more memories came, like they were being forced into many new memories, old ones buried. Once things I couldn't remember, but somehow new. Kid crouched in front of me, his broken face softer now. You don't have one timeline, he said. You have fragments. My breathing got uneven. Fragments. He nodded. Every escape you think you made was just another version continuing forward. The shadows around us started shifting again, like they were losing stability, and of them flickered out for a second then came back. They're unstable. One of them whispered for the first timidly sounded worried. Me duplicate looked at them. He's waking up across layers. My stomach dropped. Waking up? Where? The kid stood up slowly and pointed upward outside this loop. One looked up, nothing but darkness above us. There is no outside. I said, but my voice wasn't confident anymore. It was shaking. The kid shook his head. There is. But it's not yours yet. Suddenly the ground beneath us started cracking, thin lines spreading everywhere like glass breaking in slow motion. Yo yo yo. What's happening now? I shouted. Shadows stepped back slightly for the first time and certain. He's destabilizing the layer. One said. Me duplicate looked at me, elapsing this version. What does that even mean? I yelled, but no one answered because everything started speeding up. Walls stretching, hallway bending, lights turning into static, and voice everywhere. Me name being called from different directions, different tones, different versions of me. Run, stay, wake up. Don't wake up. My mind couldn't handle it anymore. Fell forward, hands on the floor. Make it stop, please. Then the kid knelt beside me again and said something different this time. There is one exit condition. I looked at him, barely conscious. Now what? He leaned closer. You have to choose who stays. My eyes widened slightly. Choose who stays. He nodded slowly. Only one version continues. My duplicate stepped forward. No. The shadows behind it also stepped forward. No. Now they were all focused on me again, waiting. Jing, be all of them. The kid said softly, you never were. My breathing got shallow. So what? I just erased myself. He didn't answer. That silence said in north. Ground cracked louder. No reality breaking faster, and tenth voices merged on final time. Choose. My head felt like it was splitting. Every version of me screaming different things, but in the middle of it alone thought stayed clearly. Didn't know which one was real because at this point they all felt real, and then suddenly everything stopped. Headed silence, ill motion frozen, and only one thing moved. Dolno appearing again in my hand, and it whispered decide. Bro, the second that doll whispered decide, it felt like my whole body just went numb. Not fear anymore. More like my brain stopped sending signals. Proper everything around me was frozen, literally frozen. Shadows, mid-step lights, mid-flicker, even the air felt stuck like reality hit pause just for me, and I was standing there holding that doll again. Same broken face, same empty eyes, but now it didn't feel like an object, it felt like a key. What do you want me to decide? I whispered. No, and Sergis silenced them. Slow live frozen world started showing me things again. It moving but visible like layers over layers on my left. Me duplicate standing still, eyes locked on me, and my right kid some broken face but calm now, like he already accepted everything. And behind them shadows, but now they weren't just shadows, they were shifting into different versions of me, different hates, different expressions, different states. Some were running, some were screaming, some were just lying still, dead quiet. Nah, this is too much, I muttered, stepping back. Doll in my hand tightened its grip. It moved. Choose. It repeated. Me throat went dry. Choose what? Bro, I don't even understand what's happening anymore. The kid spoke softly. Which version continues? My eyes snapped to him. Continues where? This nightmare. He shook his head out. My duplicate finally spoke again. Cold calm. Think you're the original. I turned to it. What does that even mean now? It stepped closer. And one of you are original. That hit weird, like it wasn't even an insult anymore, just a fact. Shadows behind it started flickering faster, like they were getting impatient. He's unstable, one said. Pick quickly. Another. A dead me head started spinning again. Memories flashing randomly, rooms changing, versions of me dying, waking, resetting. Was too much. Stop showing me this, I shouted, and suddenly everything paused again. And the kid moved, walked closer, slow, careful, and said listen. I looked at him, barely holding myself together. There's no right choice. My breathing got heavier. Then why make me choose? He pointed at the doll. Because you already are. My eyes dropped to heightened for a second. He saw something inside it, not darkness, not void, but me trapped version stackacadriodana. I whispered no, that's not possible. The doll spoke again, but this time it didn't feel external, it felt like it was inside my head. You are the loop. My knees almost gave out. No. My duplicate stepped forward again. If you continue. It paused. You overwrite me, the kid added quietly. And if you choose him. He looked at my duplicate. You stabilize this layer, but forget everything else. My chest tightened. Forget everything. The kid nodded. All of its shadows started moving again slowly. Time coming back. He's breaking. One of them said. Pressure increased again, like reality was forcing me to decide faster. He looked at my duplicate then at the kid then to the shadows then at the doll. My mind was screaming. The thing made sense anymore, and then something unexpected happened. The doll turned in my hand by its infant, pointed at mesalency. Absolute silence. Then the kid whispered. It chose already. My eyes widened. What? My duplicate stepped back slightly for the first time and certain no. The shadows all turned toward me slowly, like they just realized something. No. One said. A doll spoke one last time, clear, direct into my head. You are the continuation and theme of everything. Snapidana snow hallway. No shadow snow. Kidna duplicate. He just me falling again, but this Timino impact waiting just endless falland in the distancia. Voice down familiar stum like mine. Wake up properly this time. Bro, this fall. Yeah, it felt different from before. No panic, no struggle, just falling. Like my body accepted it. This Timino whine sound. No darkness, fear, just silence. Then that voice again. Wake up properly this time. It echoed, but softer now. Not threatening, not broken, just normally. Closed my eyes mid-fall. If this is another loop, I swear. But before I could finish, that thought of everything stopped. No impact, no transition, just stillness and Theni opened my eyes siling. Witnin cracked not stretched nor Ali blinked slowly and set with me breathing steady. This Timinot rushed at panickedy. Turned my head window on the side. Sunlight coming in soft, warm. Raleigh sat up slowly, looked around. This looks normal. Bed to black air Veventhi exactly how it should. Benno distort show. No flickering lights, no shadows hiding in corners. Okay. I whispered, okay, maybe this is it. I stood up, walked to the mirror, looked at myself, some face, same tired eyes. But no fear this time, just confusion. He splashed water on my face, looked again, reflection. All malno delay, no glitchy. Exhaled slowly. I think I'm out. But something felt off, not wrong, just missing like a thought. I couldn't grubby. Stepped out of my room hallway. Normal lights, stable, no stretched walls, no weird sound. See, walked downstairs. Everything looked fine too. Fine, perfect. Even why does this feel fake? I much read then. I noticed something and the walla photo framey. Stepped closer and my stomach dropped instantly. It was a picture of me standing in my room's milling, but behind me anything faint, barely visibly shadowy. Blinked, looked all gungoni. Just my normal picture. Nah, just your mind, I said, forcing a small laugh. He turned away, walked toward the kitchen, grabbed a glass of water. Hands steady now. He drank slowly. Everything, everything quiet to quieten. My phone buzzed on the tablet, froze for half a second, then picked it up. No fear this time, just curiosity screen. Normal, no cracks, no glitches, no unknown numbers, just one notification. Notes. I frowned. I didn't open notes. I tightened. What I saw made my chest tighten again. It wasn't a normal note. It was a list written in my own typing style, but I didn't remember writing it. It said, if you're reading this, you made it further than before. My fingers went cold. Who scrolled down slowly. More lines. Don't trust the com. They can't fully cross, but they can watch. You won't remember everything. That's intentional. My breathing changed again. Slow. Wevieri kept reading. If you see the doll again, don't touch it this time. My hand tightened around the phone. Again. Last line shit simply, and it hit the hardest. You chose yourself last time too. I stared at it last time. Then suddenly a faint sound behind me, very soft, almost unnoticeable tap-tapped from the hallway. I didn't turn immediately. I stood, therophone still in my hand, breath slow, controlled. This is real. I whispered to myself, this has to be real. Taplessa. Now he slowly turned my head just a lit, leaned. At the end of the hallway something stood there, not fully visible, not fully gone, just barely there, watching. Wait, wink, then it moved just one step forward and disappeared like it was never to resilence again. He stood there for a long Timmy, not moving, not reacting, just thinking, and one thought stayed in my head clearer than everything else. I didn't escape. I just made it further. Bro, I didn't move for a long time after that. Like my body was working. Breathing normal. Everything looking fine. But my mind, yeah, it was somewhere else. I just made it further. That line kept repeating in my head, not loud dirgist. Constant like background noise that never stops. He slowly walked back to my room, each step careful like the floor Might change again if I rushed it, but nothing. Change it, everything stayed normal, and that's what made it worse because now I couldn't tell what normal even meant anymore. I sat on my bed, phone still in my hand, staring at that note. Again, you chose yourself last time too. I exhaled slowly. So this isn't the first ending. That thought hit hard like this moment. This exact situationality happened before, and I just don't remember it. And another thought came worse than the first, and maybe not the last either. I stood up again, walked to the window, looked outside. Street, normal people walking, cars passing, life moving like nothing's wrong. So they can't fully cross, I whispered, but they can watch. I looked at my reflection in the glass, and for a second, just a second, he thought I saw something behind me again, but when I turned, nothing. Rumi laughed quietly. I'm not scared anymore, just tired. Yeah, you're still there. I said it like I accepted it, like arguing wouldn't change anything now for him. I looked back at my phone, opened a new note, hands steady, this Timino shaking, and I started typing. If you're reading this, you made it further than before. I paused, stared at the words, then nodded slowly. Yeah, makes sense. I kept writing everything I remembered. Hallway kid, shadows, loop, choice, free detail, because now I understood something important. He wasn't writing this to escape, was writing this to prepare the next version of me, because there will be a next one. There's always a next. Only finished the note, saved. I placed my phone on the table, then I sat back on the bed, quiet, calm, instincting. Passed made more. He didn't check, he didn't carry them. Sudden lithe lights flickery danced. One say smiled slightly. There you are. No panic, no running, just awareness. There got a little heavier, just a little, barely noticeable, but enough. And from the corner of my room, that familiar shape appeared. Again at fully formed, just a shadow watching them as before, but this time I didn't look away, stared right at Aiton, said quietly, I know the rules now. Silence. Seth. Shadow didn't move, then slowly another one appeared near the door, and a third near the ceiling, not attacking, not rushing, just existing. Borsving winged. We exhaled slowly. You don't need to chase me anymore, because I'm not running. The room stayed still, but the presence got stronger, like they were listening, understanding. The one near the door tilted slightly, and for the first time I heard it clearly, not loud, not broken, just simple. Good. I nodded once. Yeah. I laid back on my bed, staring at the chilling. No fear left, just one clear thought. This isn't about escaping anymore. It's about surviving each layer. The shadows stayed silent, watching. I knew this was just another level, another version, and it's a continuation of the end, never the end, because somewhere some version of me is still falling, still choosing, still looping, and maybe, just maybe, own version will finally wake up for real. Bit until then, this is where I stay aware, watching back, waiting for the next shift.